Today I want to talk about how to get your dog to want to pay attention to you under high distractions. Most dogs out there, as soon as they leave the house, they become really interested in the environment, excited, and some of them even become a little bit concerned with the environment. If your dog only goes out once or twice a week, every time that he goes out, it's such a big deal for the dog. On the other hand, if your dog goes out very, very often, going out is not such a big deal. The training suggestions that I'm providing here today are usually called engagement training or attention training. And the primary goal is, before being concerned with behaviors and telling your dog what to do and putting things on cue and all that stuff, we want to be in a position in which we go out and the dog just wants to look at you to see what both you and him or her are going to do out there today. In this type of training, you will be competing with the environment, and that's not necessarily an easy task. So, depending on your specific dog, you might want to start this training in the backyard and then move to the front yard and then across the gate so that you are slowly increasing the distraction level. If your dog is already paying attention to you when you take him on a walk, in that case, you might be able to start outside right away. One of the things that you will need is a high value reward. Usually my first try with dogs is with food, but some dogs will even work better with toys, some dogs work very well with play, and a few dogs will work for praise and affection. I would also like to suggest that you try to use an animated way of moving and an animated and interesting tone of voice when you're engaging your dog. Now let's go have a look at a few clips in which I'm trying to engage with a few dogs that are new to me, so I'm also new to these dogs. Okay, so the first dog here is Demi, the Bull Terrier. And Demi is still a puppy, and at this moment, she's actually a little bit concerned with the environment. There was someone skateboarding just a few minutes before we shot this video, so she's a little bit concerned with the environment. You can see that she's looking in the distance, so she might need a little bit of desensitization and counter conditioning to skateboards. This is a later session in which she's already engaging with me. She's not really interested in the food treats at this point. She's more into playing with me for the most part. She's just being a sociable, a little bit crazy puppy. But the good news is that she's wanting to pay attention to me. And this is another session with Demi, and this time she's actually taking food treats. She's still more into playing and chase me around and doing this funny puppy behavior, but she's taking food treats. She's chewing them a little bit, so we might have to try something else. I am using soft, yummy treats, but she's still chewing them, which could also be the result of her not being used to getting food treats when she goes out. But the good news is that she's finally following me around a little bit, and we can work with that. Okay, so just a short session to get her to want to pay attention to me. Now the next dog here is Mojo, and again with Mojo I'm working on engagement, trying to get him to follow me around, trying to get him to find me funny, move in a funny way, talk to him and make sounds with my mouth that will engage the dog to want to be with me. Very short session. And now this is another session with Mojo, and I'm actually explaining to Mojo's owner that I'm also mixing up a little bit of lure reward training in my engagement process, because I want the dog to follow my hand into different positions. That will make my life easier. So I have the food treat in my hand and I want the dog to follow my hand around as if my hand is a target. So now I formally start the engagement session. It's going to be short. I'm just trying to get him to follow me around using my hand. There we go. He did a quick check out over there because a dog was barking in the distance. That's okay. It's totally okay. Over here, I actually tried to get him to weave between my legs, but he's concerned with it. He's not used to it, so kind of refuses a little bit. And I try a second approach, a different approach, and I finally get him to do it. Every time that he's getting a food treat,
he is also hearing my marker word, usually half a second before. So he does something I want, I mark the behavior with my marker word, and then I open my hand to deliver the food treat. And this one here is Lupo. So I'm also working on engagement with Lupo. If the owner prefers to work with clickers, in that case, instead of using a word as a marker, I will use a clicker. So the dog does what I want, I click, and half a second later, I open my hand to deliver the food reward. With Lupo, I can actually get him to weave between my legs beautifully over there. He also knows how to sit, so sometimes I'm throwing in a sit here and there. And notice that sometimes I feed him in my hand, and other times I toss the food treat away so that the food treat behaves as a toy that he has to chase.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click thumbs up for me. Like me on Facebook on facebook.com/trainmeplease. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get all the videos that I release. Keep well. I'll see you in the next video.